Have you ever felt that the harder you chase something, the further it slips from your grasp? This isn't just a paradox, but a profound lesson in life. When you stop putting so much pressure on the outcome, something magical often happens, things become easier. Buddhist philosophy and Zen have long emphasized that attachment and obsession with what we want can be the biggest obstacles preventing us from achieving it. But did you know that sometimes letting go is not only a way to liberate ourselves but also to open up opportunities beyond our wildest dreams? Think about it. Instead of stubbornly chasing after what we desire, if you focus on the journey, enjoy each moment, and do your best with what you have, wouldn't the result find you? Like water. When it's not constrained, it always finds a path through every obstacle. Life is like that, those who cling often fail. But those who let go, who embrace each moment with an open mind, are the true victors. So, will you keep chasing? Or are you ready to pause, enjoy, and wait for the magic to unfold? The power of letting go. Have you ever wondered how to achieve what you desire without exhausting yourself? This isn't a story about constant, relentless effort, it's a journey to discover the power of letting go. Deep in a serene forest, surrounded by towering cliffs, a young monk began his quest for enlightenment. He tried relentlessly, spending hours each day emptying his mind and searching for the deepest truths about existence. But the more he strived, the further he felt from his goal. So, what is the lesson here? We often think that to achieve something, we must try our hardest and persevere to the end. But sometimes, it's precisely this impatience and strain that becomes the obstacle. By opening your heart and embracing everything with a relaxed attitude, you'll see miracles happen. Imagine, instead of pushing yourself in the race to achieve, you let your hands relax, allowing the natural flow to guide you. That's not giving up, but transforming in a gentler, more profound way. Just like the young monk, when he stopped forcing himself, it was in the moment of stillness and letting go that enlightenment arrived. So, the question is, what are you trying too hard to achieve? And is it time you stopped, released the pressure, and explored the true power of surrender, the flow of nature? Have you ever stopped to observe how a stream flows? One day, while meditating by a waterfall, a young monk was captivated by the simplicity of nature. The water didn't struggle, didn't strive. It simply surrendered to gravity and let its natural course unfold. That moment made him realize, nature always operates without resistance or pressure. So why do humans, on their path to peace and success, often put themselves into a state of stress and constraint? But understanding this doesn't mean it's easy to apply. The monk started trying harder, adjusting his breathing, slowing his thoughts, forcing his mind to focus in order to reach enlightenment. Yet the more he tried, the further he felt from his goal. This is the fascinating paradox of life. Sometimes, to achieve what you want, you must learn to let go. It's not about giving up, but about letting your mind and body merge with the natural flow of things. Just like the water, when you don't resist, you will find your own way. The story of the clenched fist. Have you ever felt that the more you try to solve a problem, the deeper you sink into deadlock? One evening, as the young monk grew restless because his efforts were not yielding results, his master approached him, and said, "Your mind is like a clenched fist. The harder you clench, the more energy you lose. and the further what you desire moves away. So, would you like to hear a story about the art of letting go? The monk nodded eagerly. And the story began, long ago. There was a farmer who suffered greatly from a prolonged drought. Every day he prayed, dug trenches, and tried everything he could to save his crops. But the fields remained dry. The crops withered. And despair gradually consumed him. One day, a wise traveler passed by. He observed for a moment, then told the farmer, "Stop. Don't try to fight what you cannot control. Let nature do its work. And you do your best." This story isn't just about facing nature, it's a profound lesson about how we face life. Sometimes, we try too hard to control everything around us, forgetting that some things only happen when we learn to let go. Try loosening the clenched fist in your mind. Stop resisting the natural flow of life. Perhaps in that stillness, you will find what you have always been seeking: the farmer and the rain. Have you ever felt that the harder you chase after something, the more it slips away? An ancient story tells of a farmer who was desperate because of a long drought. Every day, he prayed for rain, dug trenches, and constantly worried about his dry fields. But all his efforts were in vain. Then one day, a sage passed by and told him, "Stop chasing after rain. Focus on enriching the soil. Tend to your fields with dedication. And let the sky decide." Despite his skepticism, the farmer decided to try. He shifted his focus from praying for rain to cultivating the land, working without expecting anything in return. Surprisingly, the rains came. The abundant harvest was like a miracle happening right before his eyes. Why was that? The sage smiled and replied, "When you stopped chasing after the sky, you created space for miracles to appear." The master looked at the young monk and said, "Stop chasing after peace. Just like the farmer stopped chasing the rain. Nurture your mind and your practice with patience, without expecting results. Then, peace will come to you naturally." This isn't just a story about a farmer or a monk, it's a profound lesson for all of us. Sometimes, giving up the desire for a certain outcome is not failure, but a way to open up for good things to come naturally. So will you choose to continue chasing? Or are you willing to tend to your own inner landscape? The butterfly and the chrysalis. Letting go, it sounds easy. But it really isn't. Inspired by the master's teachings, the young monk decided to follow the path of non-attachment. Yet, when meditating, his mind would wander, filled with questions: am I doing this right? When will peace come? Day after day, he struggled with the very expectations he was trying to let go of. He doubted even his master's words, feeling restless and wondering if the path he had chosen had any meaning. But deep inside, a small voice whispered that true change needs time, patience, and faith. One afternoon, while meditating under a tree, the monk saw a butterfly struggling to emerge from its chrysalis. For a moment, he considered helping it, but then stopped. He realized that this process was not just the struggle of the butterfly, but an essential lesson for it to be strong enough to fly into the sky. Suddenly, the monk understood, peace and enlightenment are not things that can be achieved by force or worry. Like the butterfly, everyone needs to go through their own process, face difficulties in order to grow. Only when we stop controlling and allow things to unfold, can we find true freedom. So how about you? Will you continue to try to escape from your chrysalis with force? Or will you let go? Be patient. And let the journey itself help you find your wings. The butterfly's lesson. Imagine you are watching a young butterfly struggling to break free from its tight chrysalis. It thrashes, writhes, and every effort seems weak. A monk standing nearby, his heart moved by compassion, considered helping it. But his master stopped him. If you interfere, the butterfly will never be strong enough to fly. The monk stepped back, watched, and something miraculous happened before his eyes. It was during that difficult struggle that the butterfly's wings became strong, ready for a new journey. From that moment on, the monk learned a profound lesson about his own life. He realized that, like the butterfly, transformation and enlightenment cannot be forced or rushed. Everything needs time to unfold naturally. This changed his approach to life completely. Instead of meditating to achieve peace, he meditated to be present. Instead of trying to become perfect, he allowed himself to accept his imperfections as an indispensable part of the journey. What was amazing was that, in letting go, he found even deeper values. The stillness in his mind, the peace in his soul, were no longer distant goals, but a natural state that was present in every moment. Ben em koho tro doi tre san pham trong vong 7 ni ktu ni nian hong nu kung hai long. Wai ra. Trong vong 3 ni ktu hi nian hong. Nu san pham kung vua size. An ko the yu kao doi size hon toan mean fi na. Do you realize something? Perhaps we are like that butterfly. Struggles, challenges are not there to make us fall, but to make us grow. Be strong and ready to take flight. Let your journey unfold. No need to rush or force it, because sometimes the things that seem imperfect are the most perfect gifts that life offers. Finding peace within. Have you ever paused in your busy life and asked yourself, how do I find true peace? In the beginning, he was just like us, wanting to change, seeking improvement and self-affirmation. But then, little by little, he noticed a difference. He no longer forced himself to improve. Instead, he let everything flow like the waterfall he once admired, naturally, without effort. One day, in the stillness of meditation, he felt something truly special. It wasn't an accomplishment. It wasn't recognition. But a magical sense of merging. It was as if the whole forest around him and himself had become one. Boundaries disappeared. And a deep peace arose, not from the outside world but from within him. You know? Peace is not something you have to reach or conquer. It has always been there, waiting for you to stop running in order to discover it. And that is the lesson. Sometimes it is not about changing the world but about changing the way we see and connect with ourselves. That is the key. Are you ready to pause and listen to your heart? The story of the archer. Have you ever felt that the harder you try to hold on to something, the more it slips away? A young monk had a memorable lesson from his master. When he shared what he had achieved in meditation, the elder just smiled and said, "You found peace not because you achieved something, but because you let go of attachment. When you stopped caring about the outcome, you created space for peace to appear naturally." That statement made me wonder, is it possible that we often put too much pressure on ourselves? When we cling to a goal or expectation, we inadvertently create tension and become our own obstacles. It's like trying to hold water in the palm of your hand. If you squeeze too tightly, the water will spill. But when you cup your hands gently, The water will remain still. Life is like that. It requires us to trust and accept the natural rhythm, instead of forcing it to operate according to our will. The master told another story to illustrate. There was a young archer who spent all day practicing to hit the target. Despite his best efforts, he often missed. One day, an old archer came and said, "You're aiming too far. Relax your grip and breathe deeply. When your mind is not under pressure, the arrow will naturally fly in the right direction." That seemingly simple story contained a profound lesson. Sometimes, to achieve what we want, we must learn to let go and trust the process. So what about you? Is there anything in your life that you are holding on to too tightly? Try to relax, slow down, and let life guide you. Because peace and success do not come from force, but from the harmony between you and the natural flow of life. And perhaps, what you are looking for is already here, waiting for you to recognize it. The archer and the mind. One day, when the young archer tried to relax his grip and no longer worried about the outcome, he noticed something unexpected. His accuracy improved significantly. The secret wasn't about trying harder, but trusting his own skills and letting go of the anxiety about the results. This made me reflect. In fact, sometimes stress blinds us, while when we let go, we can find greater clarity and stronger focus. These lessons changed not only the archer, but also the monk. The monk didn't just apply the principle of non-attachment in meditation, but in his daily life. When tending to the temple garden, instead of only thinking about the flowers blooming, he focused on the joy of the process of planting. When teaching the young monks, he found satisfaction in teaching, not in the final results. What was interesting was that, over time, the monk realized that letting go did not mean giving up. In reality, it was fully participating in each moment without clinging to any outcome. This was a big shift, helping him find the freedom and fulfillment that he had not experienced before. News of the monk's transformation quickly spread throughout the temple. People came to him seeking guidance, curious about the peace he had achieved. The monk always reminded them, the more you chase after results, the harder you will find to grasp them. Focus on the present and trust that everything will happen as it should. The monk's story and the lesson of letting go made me realize something important. Life is not a race to achieve results, but a journey to live fully in each moment. Like the farmer, instead of chasing after rain, tend to the soil, and the harvest will come in due time. The ripple effect of letting go. This shift not only affected the monk, but also the people around him. They too started to practice letting go and found that their lives became easier and flowed more smoothly, filled with unexpected successes and joys. One day, a younger person came and shared that he had found a freedom and happiness he couldn't have imagined before, thanks to the monk's lesson. Once, an old monk approached and asked another, "Can letting go bring us the results we expect?" This question made people stop to think, should we give up on setting goals or trying to pursue anything? The monk smiled, replying, "No. Letting go is not about giving up everything." He explained that goals are like the stars in the night sky, they guide, direct, but are not the final destination. The important thing is not the goal, but how we walk on that path. The journey of life isn't always just about the final result. Letting go here doesn't mean you give up on your dreams or goals, but that you loosen your control, so that you can embrace life with a relaxed state of mind, openness, and acceptance of the present. Giving up on the expectation of results helps us to live fully in each moment. This isn't just a reminder, but also a way of living. Life is like a dance. Sometimes you don't have to force every step, but let it flow naturally. Relax and feel the journey, with all its twists and turns and challenges, is where you learn and grow. Instead of worrying about where you will end up, enjoy each step along the way. So, letting go isn't about surrendering, but about allowing yourself to be free, to let your soul relax and merge into each beat of life. Try applying this principle to your life and you will see. Letting go not only brings peace but also opens up new opportunities you never thought of. The dance of life. We often chase goals, always wanting to achieve results as quickly as possible. But have you ever stopped to think about the journey you are on? A dancer never tries to rush a dance just to complete the piece. Instead, they pour their soul into each step, allowing the rhythm to guide them through each movement. This not only helps them create a beautiful dance, but also brings them a sense of freedom and happiness in each moment. This is similar to how we approach life. When you stop worrying too much about the outcome, you will find joy in the process. Just like a piece of music. When you no longer worry about completing each note quickly, the music will naturally blend together, bringing a wonderful harmony. When you live fully in the moment, the outcome is not something you have to crave, because it will come to you naturally. That is the message the monk wanted to convey. He pointed out that letting go is not about abandoning goals, but about allowing yourself to live fully in each step. When we shed the burdens of expectation, we not only make life lighter, but also open the opportunity to receive wonderful things that we may not have imagined. So, if you feel that life is too stressful and exhausting with the constant pursuit of goals, try to stop and feel the rhythm of life. Let yourself merge into each step. Enjoy the journey, and the results will come to you gently. Like a perfect piece of music. Like a dance. The cup of water and the petal. Letting go, a concept that sounds simple, but in reality, is a great challenge. Many people, when seeking guidance from masters, encounter the same question: how can I let go of something that I cherish so much? If I don't try to hold on, can I achieve it? The old monk, with profound understanding, explained that letting go does not mean being indifferent or neglectful. In fact, letting go is about abandoning attachment. The excessive need to control something. Caring and loving are natural and beautiful. But when caring becomes an obsession, it can make you feel like you are bound by an invisible string. The old monk shared an interesting perspective: you cannot calm a raging river by slapping it. You have to let it settle down on its own. To illustrate letting go, he created a simple yet meaningful test. He filled a bowl with water and placed a petal on it. Then asked his students to pick up the petal without spilling a drop of water. Each student tried a way, but none succeeded. One tried to use force. Another tried to use a gentle hand. But the water still spilled, and the petal sank. Finally, the old monk gently tilted the bowl, letting the water flow naturally, and the petal drifted to the edge of the bowl, where he could easily pick it up. He said, "This is the art of letting go. When you try to force things, you will break the balance. But when you act with patience and harmony, the results will come naturally." The potter and the universe's rhythm. The irony of life is that people who practice letting go often achieve more success than those who force themselves into control and attachment. They free themselves from obsession and approach challenges with clarity and creativity. One of the interesting stories about this change is the story of a potter. Before learning the lesson of letting go, he always tried to create perfect pots. But the more he tried, the more mistakes his works became. After applying the monk's teachings, he started to work with joy and ease. Surprisingly, his pots became beautiful naturally, and he quickly gained fame. When asked about his success, he replied, "I don't try to create the perfect pot anymore. I just focus on enjoying the process of shaping the clay. And perfection has come to me." One evening, while gazing at the stars, the old monk shared a profound reflection with his students. The universe has its own rhythm, much larger than our understanding. When you let go of attachment to results, you will harmonize with the universe. Results do not come from strength, but from harmony with life. This made me realize something very important in life: when we learn to let go, not to give up, but to let life unfold naturally, we will feel lighter and more fulfilled in each moment. Perfection doesn't always come from great efforts, but sometimes from the ability to accept and let things happen according to their own rhythm. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like to support us and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exciting content. Share the video to spread the joy to even more people. Thank you so much, and see you in the next videos.